A U.S. State Department of Education Website Address Guide. Chapter 1. U.S. State Government Department of Education Websites by State from models-of-teaching.org/sample-page/links-to-u-s-state-department-websites-n-standards. Alabama Department of Education, alsta.edu/html/home.asp. General Standards, alsta.edu/section/section_detail.asp?section=54. Technology Standards, alsta.edu/section/section_detail.asp?section=61$footer=sections. Alaska Department of Education, eed.state.ak.us. General Standards, eed.state.ak.us/standards. Technology Standards, eed.state.ak.us/content standards/technology.html. Arizona Department of Education, ade.state.az.us. General Standards, ade.state.az.us/standards/content standards.asp. Technology Standards, ade.state.az.us/standards/technology. Arkansas Department of Education, arcu.state.ar.us/index.html. General Standards, arkansas.org/teachers/frameworks.html. California Department of Education, cde.ca.gov/index.asp. General Standards, cde.ca.gov/be/st. Colorado Department of Education, cde.state.co.us/index_home.htm. General Standards, cde.state.co.us/index_stnd-access.htm. Technology Standards, cde.state.co.us/edtech/stand.asp. Connecticut Department of Education, state.ct.us/sde. General Standards, sde.ct.gov/sde/cwp/view.asp?mark=sign 2618%q=321696. Technology Standards, sde.ct.gov/sde/cwp/view.asp?mark=sign 2678%q=320724. Delaware Department of Education, doe.state.de.us. General Standards, doe.k12.de.us/programs/pcs. Florida Department of Education, fldoe.org. General Standards, fern.edu/doe/curic/pre-k12/frame2.htm. Georgia Department of Education, doe.k12.ga.us. General Standards, georgiastandards.org. Technology Standards, georgiastandards.org/toolkit.aspx. Hawaii Department of Education, doe.k12.hi.us. General Standards, doe.k12.hi.us/standards/index.htm. Idaho Department of Education, sde.state.id.us/department. General Standards, sde.idaho.gov/instruct/standards. Illinois Department of Education, isbe.state.il.us. General Standards, isbe.state.il.us/ils/default.htm. Technology Standards, isbe.state.il.us/curriculum/elearning/default.htm. Indiana Department of Education, doe.state.in.us/welcome.html. General Standards, doe.state.in.us/standards/welcome.html. Technology standards, doe.state.in.us/standards/standards2000_technology.html. Iowa Department of Education, state.ia.us/educate. General standards, iowa.gov/educate/content/view/780/791. Kansas Department of Education, ksde.org. General standards, ksde.org/default.aspx?tab@=1678. Technology standards, .cased.org/sfp/kate/technology/tech_home.htm. Kentucky Department of Education, education.ky.gov/kde/default.htm. General standards, education.ky.gov/kde/instructional+resources. Curriculum and documents and resources/student and performance and standards/. Technology standards, education.ky.gov/kde/instructional+resources/technology. Teacher and resources/technology and standards/. Louisiana Department of Education, doe.state.la.us/lde/index.html. General standards, doe.state.la.us/lde/saa/2257.html. Technology standards, doe.state.la.us/lde/lset/324.html. Maine Department of Education, state.me.us/education. General standards, state.me.us/education/standards.htm. Maryland Department of Education, marylandpublicschools.org/msde. General standards, mdk12.org/instruction/curriculum/index.html. Technology standards, marylandpublicschools.org/msde/programs/technology/texteds. Massachusetts Department of Education, doe.mass.edu. General standards, doe.mass.edu/educators/curriculum.html. Technology standards, doe.mass.edu/edtech/standards.html. Michigan Department of Education, michigan.gov/mde. General standards, michigan.gov/mde/0,1607,7-140-2875300.html. Technology standards, michigan.gov/mde/0,1607,7-142-28332_3732800.html. Minnesota Department of Education, education.state.mn.us/mde/index.html. General standards http://education.state.mn.us/mde/academic_excellence/academic_standards/index.html. Technology standards, memoweb.org/html files/links/lit-standards.html. Mississippi Department of Education, mde.k12.ms.us. General standards, mde.k12.ms.us/academic/id/curriculum/cur.htm. Technology standards, mde.k12.ms.us/oet. Missouri Department of Education, dis.mo.gov. General standards, dis.mo.gov/standards/index.html. Montana Department of Education, opi.state.mt.us. General standards, opi.mt.gov/accred/cstandards.html. Technology standards, opi.mt.gov/pdf/standards/contesteds-tech.pdf. Nebraska Department of Education, nde.state.ne.us. General Standards, nde.state.ne.us/nde standards/academic standards.htm. Technology Standards, nde.state.ne.us/texn/documents/student_essential.pdf. Nevada Department of Education, doe.nv.gov. General Standards, doe.nv.gov/standards.html. Technology Standards, doe.nv.gov/standards/standcomp/comtech-standards/comtech-content.html. New Hampshire Department of Education, ed.state.nh.us/education. General Standards, ed.state.nh.us/education/doe/organization/curriculum. Curriculum Frameworks/curriculumframeworks.htm. New Jersey Department of Education, state.nj.us/education. General Standards, state.nj.us/New Jersey DED/APS. Technology Standards, state.nj.us/New Jersey DED/APS/CCCS/Tech. New Mexico Department of Education, ped.state.nm.us. General Standards, ped.state.nm.us/standards/index.html. New York Department of Education, niced.gov. General Standards, emsc33.niced.gov/ciai. North Carolina Department of Education, dpi.state.nc.us. General Standards, dpi.state.nc.us/curriculum. Technology Standards, dpi.state.nc.us/curriculum/computer skills. North Dakota Department of Education, dpi.state.nd.us. General Standards, dpi.state.nd.us/standards/index.shtm. Technology Standards, dpi.state.nd.us/standards/content/tech.pdf. Ohio Department of Education, ode.state.oh.us. General Standards, ode.state.oh.us/gd/templates/pages/ode/odeprimary.aspx?. Page equals 2 and topic ID equals 7 and topic relation it equals 305. Technology Standards, ode.state.oh.us/gd/templates/pages/ode/odedetail.aspx?. Page equals 3 and topic relation it equals 339 and content ID equals 1424 and content equals 12579. Oklahoma Department of Education, sde.state.ok.us/home/default.ie.html. General Standards, click on Curriculum from main page. Technology Standards, click on Curriculum from main page. Oregon Department of Education, ode.state.or.us. General Standards, ode.state.or.us/search/results/?ID equals $53. Pennsylvania Department of Education, pde.state.pa.us. General Standards, pde.state.pa.us/stateboard_ed/cwp/view.asp?? $3 Q $76716. Rhode Island Department of Education, ridoe.net. General Standards, ridoe.net/instruction/default.aspx. Technology Standards, ridoe.net/highschool/reform/tech-in-schools/ed_tech2.aspx. South Carolina Department of Education, mycschools.com. General Standards, ed.sc.gov/topics/curriculums/TDS. South Dakota Department of Education, doe.sd.gov. General Standards, doe.sd.gov/content standards. Technology Standards, doe.sd.gov/octi/teched/index.asp. Tennessee Department of Education, state.tn.us/education. General Standards, tennessee.gov/education/ci/standards. Technology Standards, tennessee.gov/education/ci/standards/computer/comtech-preface.pdf. Texas Department of Education, tea.state.tx.us. General Standards, tea.state.tx.us/curriculum. Technology Standards, tea.state.tx.us/technology/TA. Utah Department of Education, usoe.k12.ut.us. General Standards, schools.utah.gov/cur/core. Technology Standards, schools.utah.gov/cur/core/core pdf/edutech.pdf. Vermont Department of Education, state.vt.us/educ. General Standards, education.vermont.gov/new/html/pgm_curriculum.html. Technology Standards, education.vermont.gov/new/html/pgm_edtech.html. Virginia Department of Education, pen.k12.va.us. General Standards, pen.k12.va.us/vdoe/instruction/sol.html. Washington Department of Education, k12.wa.us. General Standards, k12.wa.us/curriculum instruct/default.aspx. Technology Standards, k12.wa.us/edtech/tech foundation teachers.aspx. Washington, D.C. Department of Education, k12.dc.us/dcps/home.html. General Standards, k12.dc.us/dcps/standards/standardshome.htm. West Virginia Department of Education, wvita.state.wv.us/index.html. General Standards, wvita.state.wv.us/policies/csos.html. Technology Standards, dov.state.wv.us/policies/p2520.14.pdf. Wisconsin Department of Education, dpi.state.wi.us. General Standards, dpi.state.wi.us/standards/index.html. Technology Standards, dpi.state.wi.us/standards/pdf/infotech.pdf. Wyoming Department of Education, k12.wy.us. General Standards, k12.wy.us/saa/standards.asp. Chapter 2 U.S. State Departments of Education/State Education Agencies. State Departments of Education/State Education Agencies. Look through these websites to find an alternative school in your area. nces.ed.gov/ccd/cccs.asp, State Education Agencies. wdcrobcolp/01.ed.gov/program/category_cd C, State Departments of Education. ed.gov/program/list.cfm?category_cd C, State Departments of Education. sendit.nodac.edu/k12/doe.html, links to State Departments of Education. Try this formula. edstandards.org/stst/.html. edstandards.org/stst/alabama.html. edstandards.org/stst/southdakota.html. A relatively easy way to locate your state Department of Education barring the phone book is to search the general state government websites. State.xx.us, k12.xx.us, with the XX representing the two-letter abbreviation for your state. alsta.edu, Alabama. educ.state.ak.us, Alaska. arcdu.state.ar.us, Arkansas. cde.ca.gov, California. cde.state.co.us, Colorado. state.ct.us/sde, Connecticut. aces.k12.ct.us/resources/resc/index.asp, Connecticut Regional Educational Service Centers. doe.state.de.us, Delaware. fldoe.org, Florida. doe.k12.ga.us, Georgia. k12.hi.us, Hawaii. sde.state.id.us, Idaho. isbe.state.il.us, Illinois. isbe.state.il.us/regional offices/default.htm, Illinois, Division of Regional Office Services. doe.state.in.us, Indiana. doe.state.in.us/esc/welcome.html, Indiana Region Service Centers. siec.k12.in.us/sr, Indiana Small and Rural Schools Associations. state.ia.us/educate, Iowa. ksbe.state.ks.us, Kansas. nextc.org/kids/sc1.html, Education Service Centers in Kansas. kde.state.ky.us, Kentucky. kde.state.ky.us/opd/rsc, Kentucky, Regional Service Centers. Alabama Department of Education. 50 North Ripley St. Pub 302,101. Montgomery, Alabama 36104. 800-392-8020. 334-242-9708. 334-242-9700. Fax 334-242-9708. alsta.edu. Alaska Department of Education and Early Development. 801 West 10th St. Number 200. Juneau, Alaska 99801. 907-465-2800. Fax 907-465-3452. Webmaster@eed.state.ak.us. educ.state.ak.us. eed.state.ak.us. Arizona Department of Education. 1535 West Jefferson Avenue. Phoenix, Arizona 85007. 602-542-3184. 602-542-5460. Fax 602-542-5440. ade.state.az.us. Arkansas Department of Education. General Education Division. Number 304A. 4, State Capitol Mall. Little Rock, Arkansas 72201. 501-682-4221. 501-682-4202. Fax 501-682-1079. arcdu.state.ar.us. educ.state.ar.us. arkansas.org. California Department of Education. 721 Capitol Mall. 2nd floor. Sacramento, California 95814. 916-657-2577. Fax 916-657-2577. cde.ca.gov. k12.ca.us. state.ca.us. Colorado Department of Education. 201 East Colfax Avenue, Denver, Colorado 80203. 303-866-6600. 303-830-6710. Fax 303-830-0793. cde.state.co.us. Connecticut Department of Education. State Office Building. Number 305. 165 Capitol Avenue, Hartford, Connecticut 06106. 860-713-6548. 860-566-5201. Fax 860-566-8929. Fax 860-566-8964. state.ct.us/SDE. CEA.org, CT Education Association. Delaware Department of Education. John G. Townsend Building, epub 1402. Federal and Lockerman STS. Dover, Delaware 19903. 302-739-4601. 302-739-5471. Fax 302-139-4654. doe.state.de.us. deeds.doe.state.de.us. District of Columbia Public Schools. The Presidential Building. 835 North Capitol St. Northeast, Washington, D.C. 20002. 202-724-4222. 202-724-4800. Fax 202-442-5026. k12.dc.us. k12.dc.us/dcps/home.html. Florida Department of Education. 325 West Gaines St. Number 1514. Tallahassee, Florida 32399. 850-201-7400. 850-488-1570. Fax 850-201-7405. fldoe.org. Commissioner at fldoe.org. Georgia Department of Education. 2054 Twin Towers East, 205 Butler St. Atlanta, Georgia 30334. 404-656-2800. 404-656-6317. Fax 404-651-6867. State.Superintendent@k12.ga.us. doe.k12.ga.us. k12.ga.us. State.ga.us. Hawaii Department of Education. 1390 Miller St. Honolulu, Hawaii 96813. 808-586-3310. 808-734-0297. Fax 808-586-3320. subt_do@notes.k12.hi.us. doe.k12.hi.us. k12.hi.us. Idaho Department of Education. Len B. Jordan Office Building, 50 West State St. epub 83720. Boise, Idaho 83720. 208-332-6800. 208-334-3390. Fax 208-334-2228. sde.state.id.us. sde.state.id.us/department. Illinois State Board of Education. 100 North 1st St. The Alzina Building, Springfield, Illinois 62777. 217-782-4321. 217-524-3600. 0203. Fax, 217-524-4928. isbe.state.il.us. Indiana Department of Education. State House Number 229. Indianapolis, Indiana 46204. 317-232-6610. 317-232-0570. Fax, 317-232-8004. Webmaster at do.state.in.us. doe.state.in.us. k12.in.us. state.in.us. Iowa Department of Education. Grimes State Office Building. East 14th and Grand Sts. Des Moines, Iowa 50319. 515-281-3436. 515-281-4030. Fax, 515-281-4122. state.ia.us/educate. Kansas Department of Education. 120 Southeast 10th Avenue. Topeka, Kansas 66612. 785-296-3201. 785-296-3869. Fax, 785-296-7933. ksbe.state.ka.us. kansasregents.org. Kentucky Department of Education. 500 Merrow St. Capitol Plaza Tower. Frankfort, Kentucky 40601. 502-564-3421. 502-564-4970. Fax, 502-564-6470. kde.state.ky.us. education.ky.gov. Louisiana Department of Education. 626 North 4th St. POB 94064. Baton Rouge, Louisiana 70704. 225-342-4411. Fax, 225-342-7316. doe.state.la.us. Maine Department of Education. 23 State House Station. Augusta, Maine 04333. 207-287-5800. 207-287-5315. Fax, 207-287-5802. state.me.us/education. Maryland Department of Education. 200 West Baltimore St. Baltimore, Maryland 21201. 410-767-0462. 410-333-2200. Fax, 410-333-6033. msde.state.md.us. Massachusetts Department of Education. 350 Main St. Maiden, Massachusetts 02148. 781-388-3300. Fax, 781-388-3396. doe.mass.edu. Michigan Department of Education. Hanna Building, 4th floor. 608 West Allegan St. Lansing, Michigan 48933. 517-373-3324. 517-373-9433. Fax, 517-335-45645. MDE web at michigan.gov. michigan.gov/MDE. state.mi.us/MDE. Minnesota Department of Children, Families, and Learning. 1500 Highway 36 West. Roseville, Minnesota 55113. 651-582-8200. Fax, 651-582-8724. children@state.mn.us. educ.state.mn.us, k12.mn.us, Mississippi State Department of Education. 359 Northwest St. Number 365 Jackson, Mississippi 39201. 601-359-3513. Fax 601-359-3242. Webhelp@mde.k12.ms.us. mde.k12.ms.us. Missouri Department of Elementary and Secondary Education. epub 480. Jefferson, Missouri 65102. 573-751-4212. 573-751-0185. Fax 573-751-8613. pubinfo@mail.dis.statc.mo.us. dis.state.mo.us. Montana Office of Public Instruction. POG 202501. Helena, Montana 59620. 406-444-2082. 406-444-4429. Fax 406-444-3924. opi.state.mt.us. metnet.state.mt.us. k12.mt.us. Nebraska Department of Education. 301 Centennial Mall South. POB 94987. Lincoln, Nebraska 68509. 402-471-2295. 402-471-2471. Fax 402-471-0017. eduneb@nde.state.ne.us. ndc.state.ne.us. Nevada State Department of Education. 700 East 5th St. Carson City, Nevada 89701. 775-687-9141. 775-688-2284. Fax 775-687-9101. nde.state.nv.us. New Hampshire Department of Education. State Office Park South. 101 Pleasant St. Concord, New Hampshire 03301. 603-271-3144. 603-271-3741. Fax 603-271-1953. ed.state.nh.us. ed.state.nh.us/education/DOE. New Jersey Department of Education. 100 Riverview Plaza. POB 500. Trenton, New Jersey 08625. 609-292-4469. 609-292-0147. Fax 609-777-4099. state.nj.us/education. state.nj.us/New Jersey DED. New Mexico Department of Education. 300 Don Gasper. Santa Fe, New Mexico 87501. 505-827-6582. 505-827-6541. Fax 505-827-6696. sde.state.nm.us. New York State Education Department. Education Building. Albany, New York 12234. 518-474-5548. 518-474-3879. Fax 518-473-4909. NYSED.gov. North Carolina Department of Public Instruction. 301 North Wilmington St. Raleigh, North Carolina 27601. 919-807-3300. 733-3921. Fax, 919-715-1278. ncdnpe.org, Homeschool Information. ncpublicschools.org. North Dakota Department of Public Instruction. 600 East Boulevard, Bismarck, North Dakota 58505. 701-328-4572. Fax, 701-328-2461. k12.nd.us. dpi.state.nd.us. Ohio Department of Education. 65 Front St. Columbus, Ohio 43215. 614-466-2937. 614-466-2650. Fax, 614-644-5960. ims_help@ode.state.o.us. ode.state.oh.us. Oklahoma State Department of Education. 2500 North Lincoln Boulevard, Oklahoma City, Oklahoma 73105. 405-521-3301. 405-521-3351. Fax, 405-521-6205. sde.state.ok.us. k12.ok.us. state.ok.us. Oregon Department of Education. 255 Capital St. Northeast, Salem, Oregon 97310. 503-378-3569. 503-378-3598. Fax, 503-373-7968. ode.state.or.us. k12.or.us. Pennsylvania Department of Education. 333 Market St. 5th floor, Harrisburg, Pennsylvania 17126. 717-787-4860. 717-783-6913. Fax, 717-787-7222. pde.state.pa.us. pde.psu.edu. Rhode Island Department of Education. 225 Westminster St. 4th floor, Providence, Rhode Island 02903. 401-222-4600. 401-277-2031. Fax, 401-222-4600. ridoe.net. South Carolina Department of Education. 1429 Senate St. Columbia, South Carolina 29201. 803-734-8493. 803-734-4047. Fax, 803-734-8492. mycschools.com. k12.sc.us. state.sc.us. scteachers.org. South Dakota Department of Education. 700 Governors Drive, Pierre, South Dakota 57501. 605-773-6934. 605-773-3678. Fax, 605-773-3134. state.sd.us/DECA. doe.sd.gov. Tennessee State Department of Education. 2730 Island Home Boulevard, Knoxville, Tennessee 37920. 865-579-3749. Fax, 865-532-4791. state.tn.us/education. Texas Education Agency. 1701 Congress Avenue, Austin, Texas 78701. 512-463-9630. 512-463-9414. Fax, 512-463-9008. tea.state.tx.us. sbec.state.tx.us. Utah State Office of Education. 250 East 500 South. Salt Lake City, Utah 84111. 801-538-7801. 801-538-7510. Fax, 801-538-7521. usoe.k12.ut.us. Vermont Department of Education. 120 State St. Montpelier, Vermont 05620. 802-828-5406. 802-828-3141. Fax, 802-828-3140. edinfo@do.state.vt.us. state.vt.us/educ. doe.state.vt.us. Virginia Department of Education. POG 2120. Richmond, Virginia 23218. 804-786-9421. 804-371-2522. k12.va.us/vdoe. pen.k12.va.us. Washington Office of Superintendent of Public Instruction. Old Capitol Building. POB 47200. Olympia, Washington 98504. 360-664-3574. Fax, 360-753-6712. Webmaster@osbi.wednet.edu. k12.wa.us. West Virginia Department of Education. 1900 Kanawha Boulevard. East. Building 6, number 262. Charleston, West Virginia 25305. 304-558-2118. 304-558-3071. Fax, 304-558-0304. wvita@access.k12.wv.us. k12.wv.us. wvita.state.wv.us. Wisconsin Department of Public Instruction. 125 South Webster St. POB 7841. Madison, Wisconsin 53707. 608-266-3390. 800-441-4563. 800-266-1027. Fax, 608-264-9558. Fax, 608-267-1052. webadmin@dpi.state.wi.us. dpi.state.wi.us. Wyoming Department of Education. Hathaway Building. 2nd floor. 2300 Capitol Avenue. Cheyenne, Wyoming 82002. 307-777-7670. 307-777-5246. Fax, 307-777-6234. k12.wy.us. Guam Public School System. Federal Programs Division. POGD. Hagatnik, Guam 96932. 671-475-0470. Fax, 671-477-4587. gdo.net. Puerto Rico Department of Education. POB 190759. San Juan, Puerto Rico 00919-0759. 787-759-2000. Fax, 787-250-0275. Webmaster@ogp.gobierno.pr de.gobierno.pr/deportal/inicio/inicio.aspx Virgin Islands Department of Education 1834 Kongens Gade Charlotte Amalie Virgin Islands 00802 340-774-2810 Fax 340-779-7153 DOE.vi Chapter 3 U.S. State Department of Education Websites ed.gov, U.S. Federal Department of Education DOTA.edu, Department of Defense Schools ALESTA.edu, Alabama eed.state.ak.us, Alaska ade.state.az.us, Arizona Arkansas.org, Arkansas cde.ca.gov, California cde.state.co.us, Colorado state.ct.us/SDE, Connecticut doe.state.de.us, Delaware fldoe.org, Florida doe.k12.ga.us, Georgia doe.k12.hi.us, Hawaii sde.idaho.gov, Idaho isbe.state.il.us, Illinois state.ia.us/educate, Iowa kde.state.ky.us, Kentucky doe.state.la.us, Louisiana main.gov/education/index.html, Maine msde.state.md.us, Maryland doe.mass.edu, Massachusetts michigan.gov/mde, Michigan education.state.mn.us, Minnesota mde.k12.ms.us, Mississippi doe.as, American Samoa dis.mo.gov, Missouri state.nh.us/do, New Hampshire state.nj.us/education, New Jersey sde.state.nm.us, New Mexico nicd.gov, New York dpi.state.nc.us, North Carolina dpi.state.nd.us, North Dakota ode.state.oh.us, Ohio sde.state.ok.us, Oklahoma ode.state.or.us, Oregon pde.state.pa.us, Pennsylvania doe.sd.gov, South Dakota state.tn.us/education, Tennessee tea.state.tx.us, Texas state.vt.us/educ, Vermont pen.k12.va.us, Virginia k12.wa.us, Washington wvita.state.wv.us, West Virginia dpi.state.wi.us, Wisconsin k12.wy.us, Wyoming pss.cnmi.mp, Northern Marianas doe.vi, Virgin Islands. Chapter 4 State Department of Education Homeschool Offices. Contact the following state homeschooling offices for information about teacher qualifications. Usually the parent, often, just a high school diploma is required, subjects required, compulsory days of schooling per year, ages required to be schooled, tests, standards and other rules. Alabama. Alabama State Department of Education. Director, Prevention and Support Services. POB 302101. Montgomery, Alabama 36104. 334-242-9700. alesta.edu. Alaska. Alaska Department of Education and Early Development. 801 West 10th St. Juneau, Alaska 99801. 907-465-2800. Webmaster at eed.state.ak.us. educ.state.ak.us. Arizona. Arizona Department of Education. 1535 West Jefferson St. Phoenix, Arizona 85007. 602-542-3184. ade.state.az.us. Director of Homeschooling Services. Maricopa County School Superintendent. 301 West Jefferson. Number 660. Phoenix, Arizona 85003. 602-506-3144. maricopa.gov/schools/homeschool.aspschools.maricopa.gov. Arkansas. Arkansas Department of Education. 4. State Capitol Mall. Little Rock, Arkansas 72201. 501-682-1874. arcdu.state.ar.us. arcdu.k12.ar.us. California. California Department of Education. 721 Capitol Mall. Room 552. Sacramento, California 95814. 916-657-2453. cde.ca.gov. cde.ca.gov/writeform.htm. Colorado. Department of Education. 201 East Colfax Avenue. Denver, Colorado 80203. 303-866-6600. Fax 303-830-0793. dam_a at cde.state.co.us. cde.state.co.us/cdeedsurf/homeschool.htm. Connecticut. Connecticut Department of Education. Room 246A. 165 Capitol Avenue. Hartford, Connecticut 06106. 860-566-8263. state.ct.us/SDE. Delaware. Delaware State Department of Education. John G. Townsend Building. POB 1402. Dover, Delaware 19903. 302-739-4583. doe.state.de.us. District of Columbia. District of Columbia Public Schools. 825 North Capitol St. Northeast. 7th floor. Washington, D.C. 20002. 202-724-4222. Webmaster at k12.dc.us. k12.dc.us/dcps/home.html. Florida. Florida Department of Education. 325 West Gaines St. Number 532. Tallahassee, Florida 32399. 850-487-8428. fldoe.org. Georgia. Georgia Department of Education. 205 Butler St. Atlanta, Georgia 30334. 404-656-2800. help.desk@do.k12.ga.us. doe.k12.ga.us/index.asp. Hawaii. Hawaii Department of Education. 641 18th Avenue Building V. Room 201. Honolulu, Hawaii 96816. Phone 808-733-9895. Fax 808-586-3234. doe.k12.hi.us. Idaho. Idaho Department of Education. POB 83720. Boise, Idaho 83720. 208-332-6800. sde.state.id.us/department. Illinois. Illinois State Board of Education. 100 North 1st St. Springfield, Illinois 62777. 217-782-3950. isbe.state.il.us. Indiana. Indiana Department of Education. State House, Room 229. Indianapolis, Indiana 46204. 317-232-6610. Fax, 317-232-8004. Webmaster at do.state.in.us. doe.state.in.us. Iowa. Iowa Department of Education. Grimes State Office Building. Des Moines, Iowa 50319. 515-281-5001. Webmaster at ed.state.ia.us. state.ia.us/educate. Kansas. Kansas State Department of Education. 120 Southeast 10th Avenue. Topeka, Kansas 66612. 785-296-3201. ksbe.state.ks.us. Kentucky. Kentucky Department of Education. 500 Merrow St. 8th floor. Capitol Plaza Tower. Frankfort, Kentucky 40601. 502-564-3791. Fax, 502-564-6470. Webmaster at kde.state.ky.us. kde.state.ky.us. Louisiana. Louisiana Department of Education. Home Study Program. POB 94064. Baton Rouge, Louisiana 70804. 225-342-3473. doe.state.la.us. Maine. Maine Department of Education. 23 State House Station. Augusta, Maine 04333. 207-287-5922. state.me.us/education. Maine.gov. Maryland. Maryland State Department of Education. Director, Student Services. 200 West Baltimore St. Baltimore, Maryland 21201. 410-767-0288. msde.state.md.us. Massachusetts. State Department of Education. 350 Main St. Malden, Massachusetts 02148. 781-388-3300. do.mass.edu at do.mass.edu. doe.mass.edu. Michigan. Michigan Department of Education. POB 30009. Lansing, Michigan 48909. 517-335-4074. MDE web at michigan.gov. michigan.gov/MDE. Minnesota. Department of Children, Families, and Learning. 1500 Highway 36 West. Roseville, Minnesota 55113. 651-582-8246. Children at state.mn.us. educ.state.mn.us. Mississippi. Mississippi Department of Education. POB 771. Jackson, Mississippi 39205. 601-359-2098. mde.k12.ms.us. Missouri. Missouri Department of Elementary and Secondary Education. POB 480. Jefferson City, Missouri 65102. 573-751-3527. Fax, 573-751-8613. dees.state.mo.us. Montana. Montana Office of Public Instruction. 1227 11th St. Helena, Montana 59602. 406-444-3095. opi.state.mt.us. Nebraska. Nebraska Department of Education. 301 Centennial Mall. Lincoln, Nebraska 68509. 402-471-2784. nde.state.ne.us. Nevada. Nevada Department of Education. 700 East 5th St. Carson City, Nevada 89701. 775-687-9160. nde.state.nv.us. k12.nv.us. New Hampshire. New Hampshire Department of Education. State Office Park South. 101 Pleasant St. Concord, New Hampshire 03301. 603-271-3144. Fax 603-271-1953. ed.state.nh.us. New Jersey. New Jersey Department of Education. 100 Riverview Plaza. POB 500. Trenton, New Jersey 08625. 609-292-1126. state.nj.us/education. New Mexico. New Mexico Department of Education. Management Support and Intervention. 300 Don Gasper. Santa Fe, New Mexico 87501. 505-827-6582. Esperia at sde.state.nm.us. sde.state.nm.us. New York. New York State Education Department. Office for Non-Public School Services. Room 481. Albany, New York 12234. 518-474-3879. mscgen@mail.niced.gov. niced.gov. North Carolina. North Carolina Division of Non-Public Education. 1309 Mail Service Center. Raleigh, North Carolina 27699. 919-733-4276. ncdnpe.org. North Dakota. North Dakota Department of Public Instruction. 600 East Boulevard. Bismarck, North Dakota 58505. 701-328-4572. Fax 701-328-2461. dpi.state.nd.us. Ohio. Ohio Department of Education. 65 Front St. Columbus, Ohio 43215. 614-466-2937. ode.state.oh.us. Oklahoma. Oklahoma State Department of Education. 2500 North Lincoln Boulevard. Oklahoma City, Oklahoma 73105. 405-521-3301. Fax 405-521-6205. sde.state.ok.us. Oregon. Oregon Department of Education. 255 Capital St. Northeast. Salem, or 97310. 503-378-3569. Fax 503-378-5156. ode.webmaster@state.or.us. ode.state.or.us. Pennsylvania. Pennsylvania Department of Education. School Services Unit. 333 Market St. 5th floor. Harrisburg, Pennsylvania 17126. 717-787-4860. pde.state.pa.us. Rhode Island. Rhode Island Department of Education. 225 Westminster St. 4th floor. Providence, Rhode Island 02903. 222-4600, extension 2503. ridoi.net. South Carolina. South Carolina Department of Education. 1429, Senate St. Columbia, South Carolina 29201. 803-734-8493. mycschools.com. sde.state.sc.us. South Dakota. South Dakota Department of Education. 700 Governors Drive. Pierre, South Dakota 57501. 605-773-6934. Fax, 605-773-3782. state.sd.us/DECA. Tennessee. Tennessee State Department of Education. 2730 Island Home Boulevard, Knoxville, Tennessee 37920. 865-579-3749. state.tn.us/education. Texas. Texas Education Agency. 1701 Congress Avenue, Austin, Texas 78701. 512-463-9630. tea.state.tx.us. Utah. Utah State Office of Education. 250 East 500 South, Salt Lake City, Utah 84111. 801-538-7801. usoe.k12.ut.us. Vermont. Vermont Department of Education. 120 State St. Montpelier, Vermont 05620. 802-828-5406. state.vt.us/educ. Virginia. Virginia Department of Education. POG 2120. Richmond, Virginia 23218. 804-786-9421. pen.k12.va.us. Washington. Office of Superintendent of Public Instruction. Old Capitol Building. POG 47200. Olympia, Washington 98504. 360-664-3574. Webmaster at osbi.wednet.edu. k12.wa.us. West Virginia. West Virginia Department of Education. 1900 Kanawha Boulevard, East. Building 6, Room 262. Charleston, West Virginia 25305. 304-558-2118. Fax, 304-558-6268. wvita.state.wv.us. Wisconsin. Wisconsin Department of Public Instruction. 125 South Webster St. POB 7841. Madison, Wisconsin 53707. 608-266-3390. 800-441-4563. dpi.state.wi.us. Wyoming. Wyoming Department of Education. Hathaway Building, 2nd floor, 2300 Capitol Avenue, Cheyenne, Wyoming 82002. 307-777-7670. k12.wy.us. Chapter 5. State Education Departments and Boards. State Education Departments and Boards. Alabama. AIC.state.al.us, Commission on Higher Education. alsta.edu, Department of Education. Schools.al.php, State Accredited Colleges/Universities. Alaska. eed.state.ak.us, Department of Education and Early Development. eed.state.ak.us/LAM, Department of Education and Early Development, Division of Libraries, Archives, and Museums. sled.alaska.edu, Department of Education and Early Development, SLED, Statewide Library Electronic Doorway. Arizona. aber.asu.edu, Board of Regents. ade.state.az.us, Department of Education. acp.asu.edu, Post-Secondary Education Commission. Arkansas. k12.ar.us, Arkansas Public School Computer Network. asla.state.ar.us, Arkansas Student Loan Authority. arcdu.state.ar.us, Department of Education. arkansashired.com, Department of Higher Education. California. cpec.ca.gov, California Post-Secondary Education Commission. ctc.ca.gov, Commission on Teacher Credentialing. opc.dgs.ca.gov, Department of General Services, Office of Public School Construction. cde.ca.gov/b, State Board of Education. csac.ca.gov, Student Aid Commission. cde.ca.gov/index.asp, Superintendent of Public Instruction. Colorado. state.co.us/cche_dir/hecshay.html, Colorado Commission on Higher Education. cde.state.co.us, Department of Education. Connecticut. state.ct.us/sde, Department of Education. Delaware. doe.state.de.us, Department of Education. Florida. fldoe.org/board, Board of Education. fldoe.org, Department of Education. Georgia. usg.edu/admin/regents, Board of Regents. doe.k12.ga.us, Department of Education. dtae.tec.ga.us, Department of Technical and Adult Education. gsfc.org, Georgia Student Finance Commission. osr.state.ga.us, Office of School Readiness. Hawaii. doe.k12.hi.us, Department of Education. Idaho. sde.state.id.us, Department of Education. idsaves.org, Idaho College Savings Program. idahoboardof.org, Idaho State Board of Education. sde.state.id.us/department/statesupper2.asp, Superintendent of Public Instruction. Illinois. iccb.state.il.us, Community College Board. collegezone.com, Illinois Student Assistance Commission. isb.state.il.us, State Board of Education. Indiana. doe.state.in.us, Department of Education. che.state.in.us, Indiana Commission for Higher Education. Iowa. state.ia.us/regents, Board of Regents. state.ia.us/educate, Department of Education. Kansas. ksbe.state.ks.us/welcome.html, Department of Education. kansasregents.org, Kansas Board of Regents. ksbe.state.ks.us, State Board of Education. Kentucky. cpe.state.ky.us, Council on Post-Secondary Education. adult.state.ky.us, Department for Adult Education and Literacy. education.ky.gov, Department of Education. educationcabinet.ky.gov, Education Cabinet. kyeducators.org, Education Professional Standards Board. kypsb.net, Education Professional Standards Board. Louisiana. regents.state.la.us, Board of Regents. doe.state.la.us, Department of Education. Maine. state.me.us/education, Department of Education. Maryland. marylandpublicschools.org/msd, no follow, Department of Education. pscp.state.md.us, Interagency Committee on School Construction. mhec.state.md.us, Maryland Higher Education Commission. Massachusetts. doe.mass.edu, Executive Office of Educational Affairs, Department of Education. Michigan. michigan.gov/mde, Department of Education. Minnesota. education.state.mn.us, Department of Education. mheso.state.mn.us, Higher Education Services Office. informns.k12.mn.us, Informs, Minnesota K-12 Project. mnscu.edu, Minnesota State Colleges and Universities. pcae.k12.mn.us, Perpic Center for Arts Education. Mississippi. mde.k12.ms.us, Department of Education. ihl.state.ms.us/gol, Governor, Office of Literacy. ihl.state.ms.us, Mississippi Board of Trustees of State Institutions of Higher Learning. sbcjc.cc.ms.us, State Board for Community and Junior Colleges. Missouri. dees.state.mo.us, Department of Elementary and Secondary Education. dhe.mo.gov, Department of Higher Education. More.net, Missouri Research and Education Network. Montana. bpe.state.mt.us, Board of Public Education. montana.edu/www.board, Board of Regents of Higher Education. montana.edu/www.oche, Commissioner of Higher Education. opi.state.mt.us, Office of Public Instruction. Nebraska. nde.state.ne.us, Department of Education. Nevada. doe.nv.gov, Department of Education. New Hampshire. ed.state.nh.us, Department of Education. New Jersey. state.nj.us/education, Department of Education. state.nj.us/higher education, New Jersey Commission on Higher Education. New Mexico. sde.state.nm.us, Department of Education. nmche.org, New Mexico Commission on Higher Education. New York. regents.nice.gov, Board of Regents. hec.state.ny.us, Higher Education Services Corporation. nice.gov, State Education Department. hired.nice.gov, State Education Department, Office of Higher Education. archives.nice.gov, State Education Department, State Archives. nizl.nice.gov, State Education Department, State Library. North Carolina. dpi.state.nc.us, Department of Public Instruction. North Dakota. state.nd.us/cte, Department of Career and Technical Education. dpi.state.nd.us, Department of Public Instruction. Ohio. regents.state.oh.us, Board of Regents. ode.state.oh.us, Department of Education. chi.ohio.gov, Governor's Commission on Higher Education and the Economy. collegeadvantage.com, Ohio Tuition Trust Authority, College Advantage. Oklahoma. sde.state.ok.us, Department of Education. Oregon. odccwd.state.or.us, Department of Community Colleges and Workforce Development. ode.state.or.us, Department of Education. ous.edu/board, Oregon State Board of Higher Education. ossc.state.or.us/index.html, Oregon State Scholarship Commission. osac.state.or.us, Oregon Student Assistance Commission. Pennsylvania. pde.state.pa.us, Department of Education. Rhode Island. ribghe.org, Board of Governors for Higher Education. ridoe.net, Department of Elementary and Secondary Education. South Carolina. mycschools.com, Department of Education. sctuitiongrants.com, Higher Education Tuition Grants Commission. che400.state.sc.us, South Carolina Commission on Higher Education. scetv.org, South Carolina Educational Television Commission. South Dakota. ris.sdb.or.edu, Board of Regents. state.sd.us/DECA, Department of Education and Cultural Affairs. Tennessee. tbr.state.tn.us, Board of Regents. state.tn.us/education, Department of Education. state.tn.us/the C, Tennessee Higher Education Commission. Texas. sbec.state.tx.us, State Board for Educators Certification. tea.state.tx.us, Texas Education Agencies. tenet.edu, Texas Education Network. The cb.state.tx.us, Texas Higher Education Coordinating Board. U.S. Virgin Islands. doe.vi, Department of Education. Utah. utahsbr.edu, Board of Regents. usoe.k12.ut.us, Office of Education. uen.org, Utah Education Network. Vermont. state.vt.us/educ, Department of Education. Virginia. knowledge.state.va.us, Commonwealth of Knowledge, Virginia's site for educators. vdb6.org, Department for the Blind and Vision Impaired. vddhh.org, Department for the Deaf and Hard of Hearing. dce.state.va.us, Department of Correctional Education. pen.k12.va.us, Department of Education. education.virginia.gov, Secretary of Education. schev.edu, State Council of Higher Education for Virginia. Washington. k12.wa.us, Superintendent of Public Instruction. West Virginia. wvita.state.wv.us, Department of Education. wvoc.org, Department of Education and the Arts. hepc.wvnet.edu, Higher Education Policy Commission. access.k12.wv.us, West Virginia K-12. wvnet.edu, West Virginia Network for Educational Telecomputing. Wisconsin. dpi.state.wi.us, Department of Public Instruction. hebe.state.wi.us, Higher Educational Aids Board. ecb.org, Wisconsin Educational Communications Board. Wyoming. k12.wy.us, Department of Education. commission.wcc.edu, Wyoming Community College Commission.